Hello and welcome to PLAMonday, yet another Monday, and I am down in the workshop. You're watching More University. My name is Edi Tocek. I bid you welcome into this Monday night. I hope you had a good start into the week, and now we can finally sit down, relax, and build some plastic model kits, or for my case it is painting some model kits, because I'm still in the midst of painting the armor for the archer, or no, I will say archer, but it's a lancer character from 30-minute fantasy. I made a decent progress with the last couple of days, because now that I have a bit more spare time, I can work off stream on those parts as well. So I managed to... Hi Darbarok, welcome to the stream. I managed to make a little bit of a progress. I can show you in a minute, but first another unboxing event. Hi there. Welcome. Another little unboxing event, because I picked up another figure from the post office today. So let's see. I guess I can like do this on the table. Might have to zoom out a bit so that we can see. I'll show you those parts in a minute, but first let's bring over the box. Must be Nina from like from my last order. So I'm very curious about this one. First, of course, ooh, that was a close call. I've almost like cut into the print that is delivered with every package, because I've made a little like cut here on the carton, but not on the print. So that's a nice one. It's is it? No, it's a revival series. Okay, it's the art from 2017 number 2. So this is like basically just a best of, or a little revival thing. But still a great picture. I don't have this one, I think. So I guess it's an idle thing. So you also received the package from Miami. The card is the same, yeah. It's almost like they don't pack this like individual for you. But it's such a nice touch. I don't know. It's just a little silly little print that even is like packed with like commercial, or like commercial on the back side. But still, this is such a nice thing. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why other shops don't do this, because they don't have the ability to like get those artists and produce those prints. I guess they have to resort to like licensed artwork, or then, let's be honest, most of the time it wouldn't be licensed. But this is such a nice thing to have. And now for the box. Oh yeah, there she is. Okay, so it's classic window box. Oh my god, oh, it's even like in a little plastic pouch. That's classic window box. Huh? Because nowadays window boxes are becoming more and more sparse. So it feels like kind of a retro thing to have. Okay, that's interesting. There is like on the back side there is a sticker. It's a seal. The box is sealed. Normally this is done with, like, here on the side you have those clear seals, like those transparent ones, but this one is printed, and it says that the first line, or the second and third line is, that I can read from this side, is, please be sure to record the full video during unpacking. And I was like, yeah, that's like already like this unboxing Instagram influencer thing in mind. But the first line that is like over the edge says, protect your rights. So I don't know. I guess I'm doing the right thing now. I record the unboxing. Yeah, it's like, would this really help if you receive like a damaged or broken figure, if you unbox it and record it? This will help you in any kind of way. I don't know. Sounds kind of made up, but okay. So yeah, nice tall figure, Girls Band Cry, and as I stated before in my videos about Girls Band Cry, there are now several figures of them available. That's the Nina figure with the cute lemon skirt. Yeah, that's right. There are now several figures of them available, like in different outfits and price classes and from different brands. But this one is in particular pretty interesting. First, of course, it is, I guess it's a Chinese manufacturer. So yeah, of course it's made in China. Most of them are. It's like the big. It's interesting that it's the backside is like a full motif, full picture, and the legal text is on the bottom, but also like pretty sparse. So, and then of course this one has like multiple parts, like multiple hand parts, and face is the same, but multiple hand parts. So like kind of like an Android. And the thing is, and normally I would be not as such a big fan of this method when it comes to scale figure that have interchangeable parts, because let's be honest, you will choose the pose that you like the most, and most likely it is the default one. Yeah, it's a statue with changeable hands, and you most likely will pick the default one, or the one that you like most, and then what to do with the other parts. You will just simply let it in the box. Most of people store the boxes away, so you will probably never use them or never see them. But this one is clever. This one has a base that is like this little heart shape, and the base also functions as a container. So you can, at least this is what I've seen from the pictures, you can open the box, like the base, like a container, and put all those spare parts in there to store them. And that is a thing that I'm surprised that not more like figures did already. So yeah, this is like really nice box. It's not big, it's like exactly the size that it needs to be, has lots of windows, lots of lights coming through it. It has even like a cutout for her face, so neat, really neat. There is the sticker, it's a different toy sticker, so really nice. So yeah, we'll definitely make a review with her, definitely make a photo with her. And there is, I hope they will bring the full lineup. So because there is already Rupa that comes next. Subaru got delayed till next year, so guess it will take some time until the band is fully assembled. But Momoko and what's the other one? Tomo-chan didn't even have like a scheduled release, not even a prototype yet. So yeah, that's always the thing with like figures from a series, like a band or like a band of characters. If you want to have them all, you might have to bring some patience. So yeah, but yeah, that's a great figure. And of course it's has a nice window in front, so I can do this, I can display this in the showcase even with the box, because you know I've became my worst enemy. I've became a box collector, because the showcase now so many figures are still boxed. And the bizarre thing is that since I measured those spaces and commissioned the showcase, most of the boxes are now fit perfectly into one spot, so it looks kind of intentional to display them like this, but yeah. Okay, so now let's see. I wanted to show you some things. So the Lancer is now fully stripped down from its armor. And this is this is what it looks like, isn't it? I mean, basically, it's like the naked plastic, so to say. The armor was like a dark blue, a really dark blue, or almost like black. So this is kind of like gray, bluish gray, but the armor was black, but looked like this per se. Okay, so and then I've started to paint it. I sanded it, painted it, put on a primer, so to say. And then I started with a metallic mix that is a little bit of metallic silver, a little bit of metallic blue, and now those parts look like this. So you can still see a little bit of a blue shade in there, reflect some light, and with those parts I also did a bit of a black, like for basically panel lining, but you can't really panel line on those metallic parts anymore, so you have to use like real paint, not the ink. But yeah, and then I now started to get some highlights done, so I can show you those parts behind me, especially the mask. The mask looks cool now. Let's see. Then I've added some highlights with white paint, like basically all the edges might be a bit scuffed off, because that's the part that you know, comes in contact with other things. So set it a few highlights on the mask. Backside still looks like basically nothing. Can't really see that, huh? Yes, like that's the inside. And now, so that's the step 2, and step 3 is to rub it in some like dry weathering effect, so that the effects come out even more. So this is like a finished part now. So it has a bit of a weathering. I've also tried to color the white parts a bit more with a yellow tone, so that it isn't like as clean as it is on the second step. So you can see it's almost like a bit rusty, or a bit like dirty. So of course I know Figuya, yeah, sure. Pretty. I guess one of the largest, if not the largest, figure stores, I guess, even in Europe, with several like physical locations as well. And yeah, I know them. I even ordered from them in the past, but honestly, it's not really compelling here in Austria because of the shipping. Because if you have to go like from a local merchant, we have figure shops here in Austria as well. So I can order the figures and pick them up locally in Vienna to save on the shipping costs. But yeah, so I mean they do many things right. I mean, with all the like mask, it's kind of like a German Ami, I would say, for lack of a better terms, because they have like a cute mascot. They try to do something with the mascot. They do like on Instagram, they produce funny videos and stuff. I mean, since it's a very old brand, I even knew the owner of the store back from my convention days, when it was still a smaller like venture. But yeah, I guess they do so many things right, and I applaud their success they had in the business. So yeah, and now after that I also might try to spray those with a top coat, with a glossy top coat, and hopefully this works. Yeah. So those parts are finished. So we put them aside, or let's do it on this side. Those one I have to now do the white highlights, and then I can do the weathering dry rub things. Let's see. Let's set the cameras. I mean, many years ago I would have said that it is too expensive to order locally. It was much cheaper to get your figures like privately imported. But nowadays I gotta say, depends on the figure and on the manufacturer, but it isn't as cheap as it was back then. So I still have tea, but because it's not really hot outside today. But I'm already running out of tea, so I might as well start with something different very soon. Warm tea on a warm summer night. Will you be home next week? We will send you a package. I will be like home. Yeah, I will. I'm not on vacation, so I will be home, but not like during the day. Maybe I can if I can get a tracking number and I can see the package, I might can order someone to be home and wait for the package. But normally I don't like to do this because, you know, my parents always like to waiting for the packages, and I've always told them you don't have to. It's okay. It comes like to a box, and then yeah. But of course, if you packed something like perishable in there, like a chocolate or sweets or like other things, yeah, I can organize someone that I guess picks it up. Because today I've also ordered chocolate, and I might have to find some way to get it like not sitting in the. But I guess they don't do it. They will just ring the doorbell, and if nobody's home, they will bring it to the post office. They don't like throw it over the garden's wall or put it into the mailbox because it's too big for the mailbox. That's a thing that it isn't possible anymore, because I was already alluding to that private import has now so many fees and regulations that it's basically impossible to like get around the custom clearance and whatnot. But it was like 20 years ago where you was like, oh, I have certain ways and you can like declare it as a lower value. No, they know all the shenanigans now. So it isn't really as compelling to order figures privately, but you get them much earlier. So because if I would order this from a German or from an Austrian store, usually I will have to wait 2 more months. But then again, in my case, doesn't really matter, because if I have her now or in 2 months, does not make a difference to me, because now she will stand like 2 or 3 months in the showcase untouched. So yeah. But yeah, I'm really curious what you will send me. I guess I have a nice project for friends with PLAMofits when I stream together with Oki later this month, because I really want to reinstate those streams. That's a fairly large piece. Is this the angle? Okay, no, let's see. Apparently it is. So so I have to. Basically, what I'm doing is I try to take as little as possible white color, and I use the side of the brush to stroke against those edges to have a little bit of a white contrast. And if it's too much like this, I will just immediately rub it off with some Q-tips, so that it doesn't is so overpowering. The Lancer, so that the guy itself, I will just, you know, there won't be so many details for the paint job, I think. So hopefully this goes rather quickly, because after this I might have to do a base as well, a simple base to hide the cables and to hide the battery pack, the battery back.
downside of all this metallic paint and also this acrylic stuff is that it dries immediately. So if I have to rub it off, I have to use a paint thinner. And if I rub with the paint thinner on the part, it smears a bit, but then again, that's the good thing about this weathering process. It doesn't have to look perfect. In fact, it might even look better if it's a bit unperfect, uneven. So, but then again, so yeah. So I hope you had a nice start into the week. I've also have seen your like picture from the blood drive, the Metallica shirt with the bocce Nandroid. That's a really awesome picture, and it's a really cool shirt. I mean, I would have given blood for that shirt. I don't even like Metallica, but it's an awesome motive. So. I will be surprised. I'm looking forward to that. Oh, it will wrap nicely too. Really enjoy putting together. Ooh. Oh, I hate this. I'm so like. Some would think that I'm a bit more like creative and patient when it comes to wrapping gifts, but no, I'm not. The only time when I do this is Christmas. Then I wrap my gifts, because I don't even like do this for birthdays for people. Usually, if I give something to someone, either it's a big present, like you can't really wrap it, or if it's a small thing, I put it into a like gift like box or like one of those like paper bags that are for gifting. Yeah. I mean, I guess as a guy you can get away with that mentality, because you can always say, it's a silly thing to do, because you will trash this immediately. But then, of course, in our family we still have like people that at least try to save the wrapper, even if we don't like, you know. You start to unbox it like really thorough, and then you will just rip it open a few seconds later. It's just like eating popcorn. When you start eating popcorn, you eat like one kernel at a time, slow and like steady, and you know, like, oh, it's a nice snack, and after a few pieces of popcorn, you will go Yeah, it's the same with gift unwrapping. Or do you know the feeling when you try to, as a child, I often did this, when you have like one of those chocolate figures, like a Easter bunny or like a Santa Claus, that you want to unfold the tin foil to like have the whole thing intact, like it's a square, of course, that is wrapped around the figure, so it looks like a figure. And I always found it like interesting how the print on those squares looked, and it was like a real challenge to unwrap it and not rip it. So yeah. But normally. I mean, if you are like really clever, and if you have like many friends, or like a small like a business, or like a, you know, like some like a small channel, or have like followers, and you might have to send them something. You can easily print your own wrapper paper by just do the illustrations yourself, and then just print out like huge sheets of paper. Go to a print shop and have them printed on like the crappiest paper there is available, and then you basically have your own wrapper paper, and then you can wrap your items in it and distinguish yourself from other people. So I don't know. It might be kind of topical because, interestingly enough, this weekend, or the weekend that lies behind us, was the Komi weekend. I was kind of surprised. I thought this is was last weekend, so the weekend before, because of all the like holiday, like the Pfingsten. But apparently it was this weekend, or like last weekend. So yeah. So now I'm reading a lot of the Komi like feedback and people who went there and now are coming back. So apparently my Twitter or like X feed is still usable for that. And I guess I even like dreamt from the Komi. Interestingly enough, I dream a lot about conventions these days, and they're always like kind of, I wouldn't say like nightmares, but always like kind of silly dreams where something like stupid happens. But yeah. But it's interesting to read what certain people say about the event. Because now it feels a lot more international. I mean, it already felt international when I still attended it. But now it has to be like even more. So that people not only from Central Europe joining, so from other parts of the world as well. And apparently now the event is so big and so like mainstream that even the prices reflect this for the weekend, because people are constantly complaining about the hotel prices, because they already like searched for the room next year. This is something that wasn't like when I still visited. There was no like at least no notable surcharge. The only event that still had it back then was like the book fair in Frankfurt, and I guess the book fair in Leipzig, the LBM and the FBM. But we never attended those. But yeah, when I visited, it was still like relatively unknown to the local economy. And also anime fans back then, I don't know how it is today, but they weren't like the people that had a lot of money to spend. So if you charge like very high prices for hotel rooms, guess what, they won't be booked, or I guess, I don't know. So Yeah, nowadays, you know, it's almost like impossible for someone to plan a spontaneous trip to such events. It really doesn't make sense anymore. You are either living for that lifestyle or you don't. And I'm wondering if there are like small events that are not like really small, that feel like almost like community gatherings, but like sizable events, sizable conventions that are still approachable, you know. Honestly, the idea of photo was completely spontaneous. After I took it, Borog suggested that I posted my finger relation with small message encouraging. Oh, yeah. So I guess I will see it tomorrow then, huh? I really like the Frankfurt Book Fair and I try to visit it every year, but the prices keep getting higher and higher. It's the same with Dokumi. People are already sharing tips on how to book hotels for next year. Because that's the thing. When I was like in the convention scene, we had the luxury that there were still like upcoming new events, like new conventions, so to speak. Because Dokumi was one of those. It's not. It's now a legacy convention, but it wasn't back then. It was like a fairly new thing, and so we have seen it grown. And there were a ton of those events that once a particular convention got like too big, too mainstream, too restrictive, so that you couldn't do all those shenanigans anymore. Usually there was like another event that came up and replaced it, or like gave us the opportunity to do something there. So yeah. Okay. I guess those are all the edges I wanted to cover with this one. Well, looks like this. But I was like, I've toyed with the idea that I will like fly to Düsseldorf just for fun, like for one day, without like an event, just to visit the city. And nowadays, I guess I would do the same, even with an event, to just fly there, visit the Dokumi for one day, and just fly back on the same night, and try to sleep like on the plane, or to sleep on the you know, on the airport, or don't have to wait as long. Would be like the cheapest thing to do, because ticket prices for flights are still like rather cheap if you book them in advance. And so yeah, guess it's the most affordable thing to do. And if you just visit it for like shopping, to meet certain artists, or because from my understanding, Dokumi never had like huge like show acts, or I mean there were concerts and stuff like that, but there were other events that had it far more. It was a main focus. Dokumi never was. Dokumi was always more about like you know, comic market, so to speak, like shopping and certain vendors, exhibitions, stuff like that. So, and back then it also was like only 2 days, so it was ample time to visit it just for one day. And let's be honest, it's the same thing or that most people do in Japan with Comic Cat as well. I mean, even back then, when we still attended as someone with a booth, we already struggled to get in and to get a place because it was really popular back then to be a vendor. And I was like, okay, they can't really expand in size or in number and to give more artists space, because there is such a thing than too many artists. Normally artists won't believe you, but first of all, if you have too many of them, people start to complain that there are too many. Like visitors will say, oh, there are so many artists, it was too huge and I wasn't able to see everyone, and I got lost and it's too complicated and stuff like that. So there is a thing like too many. And also if you have too many of them, basically the revenue gets split between all of them. So you know, you will attend the event, but this doesn't guarantee you that you make a lot of money. So there is a middle ground to find. So my idea was, and I don't know if they are already doing this or if they might do it someday, so that they will just orientate. So we'll just do the same thing that the Japanese comic market do. Just be a 2-day or 3-day event, but as a vendor, as a fan artist, as a doshinji seller, you only have 1 day to sell your stuff. And on the next day, you can still attend the event, but you can't sell anymore, and your place will be occupied by someone else. Oh, thank you. It's like from the artist that did the artwork for Toshiko as well. And yeah, but this is like this is like the stuff we visited conventions after the con is heist. So I drove with my roommate back then, and we sold those things. And that's the last one that survived. The print is pretty much discolored by now. It was more vivid when we sold it, and the handle broke off like 2 times already. But other than PLA, ceramic also nicely glued together with super glue. You know, I'm not afraid to do this because I know it will keep in place. So ceramic and skin and PLA, 3 things that you can glue very well with super glue. Other things, maybe not so much. So yeah, but then again, if you do this, like only let the people sell for 1 day, of course there will be people who won't like this idea at all, because first of all they aren't accustomed to it, and it would be a radical change. And I guess only few of those attendees that sell their merchandise or their fan arts or like art in general have the luxury of being so popular that they will just make all the money in 1 day. Because for the really popular people, it doesn't matter how long the event goes. If you sell out in the first like 3 hours, it doesn't matter if you can sell for 10 hours, you are already sold out or almost sold out. So for those people, it becomes a nuisance to sit there and attend the event. I know this from like my active time. We had like several of those people that are basically selling well, and they were always the ones that complained when the artist alley had like really long opening times, because usually the artist alley has a bit more lenient opening times than the like real merchandise seller. And some of them don't mind because they just, you know, stick around and have fun. But those ones that are a little bit like more like professional, they like to, you know, also use their time a bit more professional. And so they, you know, they are always like, oh, can't we like go home 1 hour earlier? And so, yeah. But yeah, I guess that's the thing that might be a solution, to have like dedicated, maybe not all of the tables to be like shared between artists over the weekend, but maybe some of them. A funny thing, drinking warm drinks during heat, heat helps. I love the different temperatures. Yeah, that's what people are trying to always sell me on. But then again, first of course, like warm drinks. Yeah, warm drinks. This is now a warm drink. This is like a bit over body temperature, I would say. Hot drinks, and then of course it doesn't feel good, and I don't do things that don't feel good. If I'm sitting outside in the summer heat, I will not enjoy a warm tea. Sorry. It's the same with eating ice cream. I eat my ice cream like I basically inhale it. You know, maybe you're supposed to, if you have like a nice ice cream from an ice cream shop, you might be supposed to like let it melt a bit and enjoy the flavor. But I basically inhale it, and so it helps to cool me from the inside. I love to have it like sitting like a huge lump of cold mass in my tummy that cools me from the inside. It's like a refrigerating thing. You know? But I'm a little bit like crazy when it comes to heat and to mitigating heat. I also like to take an ice pack from the freezer when it's really hot outside and I can't sleep at night, or it's hard to sleep at night. I grab an ice pack from the freezer and I will just throw it into my bed, or like put it on my back, on my bare back. So, and try to fall asleep with the ice pack on my back, or on my hands, or you know, or my thighs. And but luckily we aren't in this portion of the summer yet that it's becoming unbearable. And also now I have like 3 climate zones in the house. Like upstairs it's very hot, of course, in the summer. Base floor is kind of moderate because I can really regulate the heat with the shades. And here in the basement it always has the same temperature. So I would be able to sleep here down at the basement as well. So I could also sleep outside, but I don't like to sleep outside. I don't. Now it's really hard to find good mint ice cream shops. If you find a taste of mouthwash. Mint, yeah, I like mint. Yeah, mint. The taste of mint is nice. But usually I'm really not picky when it comes to ice cream. I like ice cream a lot. It was like kind of a meme thing of my character trait back when we toured the conventions. And now even now nowadays, when I go to the ice cream shop, I usually don't care about like flavors. I just say, okay, like the first 7 flavors from left to right, doesn't matter. I'm not standing there like other people's. Maybe banana and a blueberry, and I'm like, okay, like those 6, and you know, it's okay. Ice cream or sorbet? Usually ice cream. Usually ice cream. I mean, I can live with a good frozen yogurt too, or a sorbet, but usually ice cream. But I'm satisfied with all kinds of ice cream. Like I said, I'm not a snob. I eat those like store, like the packaged ice cream. Of course, they are like some of them are really like nostalgic and are really well liked by especially the people in Austria, because for some reason we have like I don't know if this is like I guess it's an Austrian thing. We have like Eskimo, like the people, and in German it's Langnese. I think it's basically the same thing, like brand wise, but we have like a certain ice cream, like what is it called, popsicles, that are basically there since the 60s or 70s, and they basically never changed. I mean, they changed in price, of course, but they didn't change in size. They didn't change much in taste. And so yeah, people are getting nostalgic. And last year we have like this chocolate popsicle that is basically just chocolate ice with a chocolate wrapper, like a hard chocolate, not a Magnum, but like a smaller one. And it's usually also was the cheapest popsicle available, and they canceled it last year, and they received such a like a shitstorm or like such a dip in sales that this season they brought it back. So yeah, I guess it was kind of a silly like decision from the start, because people already said, okay, this doesn't make sense, because it's such a basic product. But yeah. And I also have to account for the fact that I'm really eating my ice cream very, very fast. So usually if we go to an ice cream place where you can sit down and order like cups, I usually order like 2 or 3 of them just to keep up with everyone else. Because usually if one person has finished their cup, I've finished my 3 of them. And yeah, I guess sometimes they think that I'm like a critic, like a food critic, and I'm just ordering something from the menu and see how it tastes. I really love my vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free ice cubes. Huh. Really? Is this? I mean, luckily I don't have to like watch my diet, but I guess like vegan ice cream can be good. I mean, we have this one franchise that is called the Ice Chrysler. So it's basically like their whole stick is to be like a retro vintage ice dealer, but that they don't have like stores where you can order it. So basically they have like little stands on the side of the street, and they are kind of expensive, and they have like somewhat normal ice cream like flavors, but then also like some silly ones. A little bit like Zotter, the Zotter of ice cream, I would say. And yeah. But not all of them is really enjoyable. I also don't like the Asian ice cream. Oh no, I just dropped my Q-tip into the thinner. Oh no. Don't like the Asian ice cream. Like, I mean, I like the popsicles, like that you can get in Japan. But usually, what you get at the Chinese restaurant or like the Japanese restaurants, they have like sesame, ume, no, not ume. What is it? Taro, black bean, red bean, mochi. It's okay, but first, of course, it does not taste really good. Even I can taste that this is just mostly fat and no flavor. It's the same with matcha here. If you order any matcha dessert, even if it's it doesn't matter if it's from the store, from the supermarket, or if it's in a restaurant, it does not taste as like matcha at all. It just tastes like cream, whipped cream, and sugar. It's not bad, but it doesn't, it's supposed to be matcha. If it says matcha, it's the same with yuzu. Now yuzu is the new thing that everyone tries to do everything with yuzu, and usually it doesn't taste like yuzu at all. So, but I guess that's the bad thing. Yuzu ice cream might be good. I'm also a guy who likes to mix up like cream ice cream, like the cream flavors, like chocolate, vanilla, stracciatella, coffee, with like fruity stuff like strawberry, raspberry, apricot. Really depends on my mood. Banana split is like the only form I accept to eat a banana. And I'm really curious because if summer hits, I might as well bring some cold drip coffee into the streams, because I really want to try cold drip coffee. How it tastes, if I like it or not. Let's see. Because now I have so much specialty coffee, and I have to drink them, and I guess cold drip is the best way to do it, because I really need lots of coffee to do it. Yeah, cold drip coffee. So I will just like cold water in a French press and tons of grounded coffee, and then I will let it rest overnight, and then I will just filter it through, and you know, I guess I have to keep it in the fridge while it's brewing. So yeah, because I really can't make iced coffee because I don't have like an espresso machine, so that I can put some ice cubes in the coffee tray. And if I want to have like iced coffee, I just go to the store and buy one. There are so many different ice ready to drink ice coffee things available nowadays, from like the cheapest store brand thing up to the really expensive Starbucks iced coffee servings. They're really expensive. Holy moly. It's almost like going to Starbucks directly. Tastes okay, I guess. But usually it's not worth the money, I think. Okay, this part I think is also serviceable. Now my brush has really dried up and I can really handle it well, so it feels almost like a dry rub. Yeah, I really love those yuzu lollipops that were popular free. Oh, made by Chupa Chups had yuzu lollipops, really? That's amazing. I used to buy like Chupa Chups display sets from the whole store, like the Metro. When I was a child, even when I was a child, I had like always like a Chupa Chups display that you can also find in stores. But let's be honest, a lollipop thing is something I cannot really like eat anymore as a grown up. It's like just a candy with extra steps, and I will immediately start to bite it down from the stick. So I even had this like electrified rotary thing that you put in your mouth, like a electrified toothbrush, and then it spins the lollipop in your mouth, so that you don't have to lick it. Just let automation do its job. User Ramuna and soda free. Ooh, that sounds amazing. And that from a relative conservative brand like Chupa Chups, because for the longest time they always had like the exact same brands. They had like their fruit assortment, they had like those milk things, cola, maybe bubblegum inside, but yeah, it's not the brand I would associate with like much innovation, so to say. In fact, the lollipop business might be the business that innovated the least, because we still have those like cherry lollipops with the bubble gum inside. Those are so retro, and they are still available. It's like just cherry with a bubble gum inside, and I guess they also still have those like paper like stamps, and if you suck on them, the paper will dissolve, and it's really horrible because it gets in your mouth, and then you have like paper. It's like sucking on the paper straw for very, very long. But maybe they just changed it to plastic, because this was the good thing about Chupa Chups. They always had the plastic stem, and yeah. It's also called Chupa Chups Tokyo Lollipop. Ooh. So is it like a thing that you were able to buy here? Is it a local thing, or is it like an imported Chupa Chups? Because then it would make sense. when it's one of those, like, you know, Japanese street things that you can import. That sounds amazing. I might have to hunt them down. I maybe have to, like, because I will visit the metro later this year when it comes to Halloween, because I have to stock up on Lidl 3 years ago. I gotta say, I'm not a fan of Lidl. I never like to visit their stores, but when I do, I'm always amazed about their, like, assortment of things, how much you can get in this supermarket. I guess for German folks, it's considered like normal, but the thing is, we have so many supermarkets here in Austria. But all of them have a very limited inventory. Like, even if you have, like, specific, like, brands, you usually have, like, only, like, 2 or 3 flavors, even if you know that there are more available, and the rest is, like, simply not available. And even, like, there are whole products that aren't available here as well. And of course, I don't have to mention that everything is more expensive here. So even the things that are produced here in Austria, like those, like, wafers, the manna wafers, or certain, like, Austria-made sweets, they are produced in Austria and, like, sold in Germany as well. And usually in Germany they are much cheaper. So at least without any like, incentives. Because we are big on incentives as well. So everything is like buying a mattress here in Austria. Regardless if it's a mattress, if it's a car, or if it's like groceries. Everything is like 40% off, buy 2, get 1 free. It's like the whole stick. But personally, I really stopped buying, like, name brands for my personal consumption. And I don't know if other people have done this as well, but I have the feeling that name brands only really are around anymore because people tend or want to when people want to show off. If you have, like, friends over, of course you buy the brand snacks, not the cheap ones. And if you buy the cheap ones, you make sure that you, like, unwrap them in the kitchen and put them into a bowl or something, and nobody will know. I guess it doesn't really matter if you have, like, really like, young friends. They don't care as much, I guess, because they don't have money as well and they can understand it. But if you are getting into a, like, you know, take it more serious, like hosting, then of course you have to serve the brand stuff. If you throw a party, you can't have, like, cheap energy drinks. You have to buy Red Bull, of course. But for normal consumption, I really don't stopped, like, buying brand names. So I also stopped, like, reading through those, like, commercials and, like, folders and like basic print commercials, because everything in there I don't buy. So, and the store brand stuff isn't really doesn't really get cheaper. It is always exempt from any incentive. So it doesn't really matter when you buy it, how much you buy it, because that's also the thing. Those, if you buy lots, like if you buy 3 or 4 items, then it gets cheaper. And I really don't like this, because not that I won't use it, that's not the thing, but I will use it much more quickly because I have the inventory then. If I buy 3 bars of chocolate, I might eat them more like in the same time if I only have 1 bar of chocolate. And so there wouldn't be any savings. I really wanted to make a video on grocery shopping on my private channel like last year, but it never came to fruition. But basically my point was that it doesn't really matter if you hunt for coupons or for incentives, because my solution is to just get it done as quickly as possible, because the time that you spend like shopping for grocery, I think it's such a waste of time. I mean, of course you have to do it because otherwise you might starve, but you know, I don't get why people like do like there is like this really I have like a private like YouTube channel like where sometimes I post videos in German, so yeah. I was more active there when I was back in Vienna. I even had like a year where I made a video a day, and I really pushed through it. Of course, they are not edited or anything, but yeah. Because there's this really big store nearby that for Austrian level has so much variety, and also like a good quality. Like you can get pretty much upscale stuff as well. It's not cheap, but it's normal, I guess. It's not a real premium store, but it's like the most well assorted store in like 20 or 50 kilometer circle. And so if you go there, especially on Saturday morning, it is so packed. So many people, mostly old people, like seniors, but also like families. And if I look at them, I mean, I can't tell, but I guess based on their like speed and on their like habits, this takes forever. I mean, you have to drive there, because I'm sure they aren't like living nearby, because nobody lives nearby, because it's a little bit remote. So you have to drive there, then you have to shop, then you have to pack everything in the car, and then you have to drive back. Sometimes they even like maybe sit into the restaurant, because it has a restaurant accommodated as well. So basically this is just a half-day activity to shop for groceries. And honestly, that would be such a waste of time for me to do this like every Saturday, or like even like 2 or 3 times a week. So I mean, I of course I have like it's easy for me because I'm a single person and I can eat what I want. I don't have to take care. But even if you are a family and you have like if you need more groceries, I would come up with like delivery or something like it, because let's be real, I also don't get. I mean, I get why people have to like bring their kids to grocery stores, but every time I look at the parents and when the kids behave, I think this can't be fun. This isn't fun. I mean, maybe it's fun for the child, but for the parent, it can't be fun. Don't tell me that. I mean, maybe it's necessary because nobody would watch the child at home, but God. My parents almost never brought me around like grocery shopping when I was a child. Sometimes they did, but not on a regular basis. They did it like hidden. So when I opened the fridge, there was always food inside, and it's like the electricity that coming from the outlet. So I did not question it where it came from. But yeah. We have that with Rewe and Netto here. I can spend 10 minutes in hypermarket buying everything I need. Some people can spend hours, half the stuff. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know if they enjoy it, if they like don't care, or if they don't know. But like I said, I try to spend as little time as possible during a week with like grocery shopping. And so this is like my savings. This is my lifetime savings. I would not say that I will use this time more productive, because that's always the thing with like people that say, oh, that's not worth my time. My time is so valuable. And then what do? They don't, because they don't hassle in this time either. So that's a mute point. But I at least I can understand where they're coming from. I would not enjoy this process. And to be honest, the worst part of the whole grocery shopping experience, for me at least, is to store everything away once you're home. That's so annoying. First I have like to drive there, like by foot, by bicycle, by car, whatever. Then I have to go into the store. Then I have to shop, like putting everything in a basket. I guess that's the most fun, because you might like shop around. Then you have to like stand there in line waiting for the cashier. And basically the most annoying part there is that other people are so slow and cumbersome. And then they have the audacity to like call for like more open more open lines. But usually it's not the fault of the personnel there, of the staff. It's the fault of the person that is shopping, that it's not as fast as it could be. Yeah, and then you have to put it back in a bag, and then have to drive home, and then you have to store it away at home, and yeah, that's a bit annoying. Hello, unknown entity. Hello. My birthday was fine. Bit like what can I say? Unusual, because it was the last day of the garden renovation, so we have like the last minute things to do. I was touching grass on my birthday because I planted the grass, last couple square meters. And usually I don't make a fuss about my birthday, but I held a little birthday stream because the day prior until midnight, so this was a bit novel. And so yeah, it was okay. Maybe next time I could like celebrate it a bit more. But yeah, I can't spend 3 for months in a clothes shop because I need clothes, because I always go shopping with my mom and grandpa, and I'm immune to woman shopping time habits. Yeah, clothes shopping is something I also don't enjoy. I only enjoy clothes shopping if I do it for a special occasion. If I shop for like an outfit, so to say, like for like a celebration, maybe a wedding, maybe a dinner, something like that, maybe even some like for filming, then I enjoy it. But if it's just normal clothes, nah, I don't want to. But yeah. That was too intense. I'm so curious how this will look once it's finished. If this because if I now put the parts and hold it against the model, it looks a bit weird. And hopefully when everything comes together, it might look presentable. I never done this before, so I even don't know if this is like an intelligent thing I do. At least I have the feeling there must be a faster way to do this. Because you can't spend that amount of time on something. There has to be more reasonable way to achieve this effect. Gotta say. But I mean, Did the wheel is dead? No, it's not. Is it dead? Why is it dead? I've loaded the animation. Huh. Let me try to spin it. Let me try to spin it. Huh. Huh. Wheel is still there. Oh, I don't have the connection. If it's partly connected, it not connects to my OBS Studio. Why? Ah. Okay, that was weird. Okay, you can try again. It should now work because I did not connect the third-party app. So even if I had the program ready, so. Does it work? Ah, it's on cooldown. Interesting that he remembers, but not that he has to spin it again. So, but I can do it. Because I can override it, even if I can't spin it. Sometimes it's bought. Now it works. Okay, so here we go. That's the barbecue. The barbecue section. What does barbecue even stand for? I don't really know. It's an interesting question. But yeah, barbecue, grilling and chilling. Because the grill season is open, barbecue season is open. In May we already fired up the grill once. Yesterday we also wanted, but then there was a thunderstorm and we could not eat outside. So we grilled inside with our little electric plate. But yeah. I mean, now that we have a nice barbecue place, we might be incentivized to use it more often. Because I'm not a big barbecue fan. Barbara's Beauty Quiz. Maybe. Usually I'm also not a big fan of eating outside. If you have like the option to eat outside at a restaurant or to eat inside, I usually pick inside. I think it's overrated to eat outside, and there are also reasons. Because first of all, and that's a very personal thing, but first of all, there is like always smokers outside, because you can't smoke inside a restaurant anymore, but you can do it outside. And yeah, I'm not like totally against it. But usually I also don't like to have my meal accommodated with smoke. So yeah. And sometimes people I go with are also very against this, so they will just be constantly annoyed by it, and so yeah. Second is like there are always like bugs and like wasps and other like insects and that annoy you while you eat. And the third thing most often is like the wind. We went to a outside restaurant last week, and it was like in the midst of like skyscrapers. So you're sitting there in a wind funnel, and it constantly blown away your tissues and your like things on the table. So yeah. So usually I'm not a big fan. I mean I get it if the restaurant is like has no AC and gets really hot in the summer, that you want to spend your time outside. And sometimes they don't even let you eat inside in the summer month because they want to service the inside. They only have the garden where you can sit. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's also much more like loud outside if you sit, especially if you sit at one of those like city places where there's a street nearby, and it's not even like pretty to sit outside. I mean, you sit there, and then there is the sidewalk, and then there is the street where the cars drive, and then you hear the cars and you smell the cars, and you know, just. But some people are really fan of eating outside. They like the Schanigarten, where it says of German, sitting there and drinking and looking, catcalling all the women that go by, you know, stuff like that. And also have to like learn how to barbecue proper, because it's a bit different than cooking, especially with this new grill that we got, where it's basically a real like gas grill that gets really hot if you close the lid, and so it's a bit stressful to grill. So we are like a propane family, like a gas grill family. Back then we also used charcoal, because everyone did, because gas grilling was like seen as an upscale thing back then. But yeah, I mean, we are not really big grill enthusiasts, so it doesn't really matter. We also use like little small trays for the grill, so that the meat doesn't touch the grill at all, because otherwise you would make it dirty and you would have to clean it, and you know, that's annoying. So we will. It's not real grilling, isn't it? It's just heating. This meat was never touched by a flame. I'm also curious about like Burger King, because their burgers smell different, taste different, also smell different, and they also advertise with that they grill over open fire. And of course, in the commercials, you always see like flames shooting above and like grilling the meat. And then I think, is this really a thing in the kitchen? Do they really like do it over an open fire? Because this sounds rather dangerous. To be honest, to have this in the kitchen, like constantly open fire. Sounds more like a marketing gag. Because a restaurant that grills with like real fire, like in Japan, where you have like several yakiniku places that you can go, that have basically your own little fire on the table. Those aren't allowed here. You can't do this. You can't do it with a gas grill or with an electric grill that is right at your table, but not real fire. So I was wondering if like Burger King really does this where open fire. Like, I mean, some kitchens do this when they like put some flammable into the pan, and then there's a huge fire that comes out, but this usually lasts for like one second. So I sell propane and propane accessories. Yeah, that's right. King of the Hill was such a great show. I hope I can really sometimes watch the like reboot at some point, because those are those shows that I don't really have access to. So all my King of the Hill knowledge comes from like episodes that were uploaded to YouTube, and I have to put up with this like quality where it's like split into different parts, and then usually it's like zooming in and out. But usually I can still watch those. Like my brain does like the recalculations, so I'm really tolerant when it comes to those things. I know people that can't stand this, but yeah. Yeah, but it was like a really, really great show. There's also this one extremely funny edit where they added the Neon Genesis Evangelion opening with King of the Hill characters. I also miss the AMV days. That's one thing I missed from conventions, to watch all the AMVs. Because for some reason I never like did many AMVs myself, but back then I still made them, and I also like enlisted them into those contests for conventions, and sometimes they were popular, and so I became, and I did a review show for AMVs. So even if I wasn't like this active person in the scene, I became like a person to go to when it comes to AMV. So I hosted the shows for like a couple of years. So I was really like enjoying all those videos. And yeah, because basically convention was still the only place to show them in its in their full glory. Because even back then it got really bad with like copyright strikes on YouTube. And that's also the reason why I never did as many AMVs. I had the ideas, I had good ideas, but I was like, okay, if I do this and I can't upload it anywhere, what's the point? So I did not spend any energy making those. But nowadays it might be even like more terrifying with all the image generating and video generating, because back then it was like, oh, this person cheated, and you know, because he used like scenes from another AMV, or like, you know, stuff like that. But nowadays, you know, you can't even really tell anymore. Okay, that's also a fine piece. I also like to make okonomiyaki on the barbecue place, because we have a second grill that is basically just a flat piece of iron, like a flat pan, and you can use it like for sausage and like for like all kinds of stuff, like do burgers on them, like smash burgers. But it's also really great for okonomiyaki, because you have all the space you want. It's like basically having your own like outside grill, like on a matsuri. Because if you do those in a pan, of course it's perfectly serviceable, but then you can always make only one portion per pan, and outside you can just flip around, and like, you know, that's really great. It's not as fancy because it's basically just an iron pan, and we bolted some wood beams to it so that it's a bit like you can stand. Usually it's designed to have it rest on a table, but we just bolted some wood beneath it so you can stand next to it. It doesn't look fancy at all, but it does the job, and it can feed so many people, which a normal gas grill usually can't. Even if you have like a really big one, it's like a fridge. Old fridges were just boxes where you can put in stuff, and they were okay in size. But now modern fridges are like huge. But if you open them, there is basically a store, a dedicated place for everything. There is your fresh box, and there is your vegetable box, and there is your rack for bottles and stuff. So basically, you don't have any space in a modern fridge, and it's like the same with a gas grill. They always have, this is the special area for this, and this is an area for that. Yeah. I've just found out that my wife bought me a golden Hakushiki Shiki last year, and I totally forgot about it. She also, what's a Hakushiki? Golden. What's a Haku? Hyakushiki. Hyakushiki? What's a Hyakushiki? Explain. I don't recognize this. Shiki. Ah, so it's a model kit. Ah. It's a gold model kit. Is it really gold? Like you don't have to paint it gold. It's gold. It's like a gold Mario, like the amiibo thing. Is it real gold? Was there ever such a thing like a gold like a gold? Let me check out that plated. Huh? Is it really gold plated? Ooh, that looks so nice. So is this really gold? Like, because this would be a thing, wouldn't it? There would be like a person who like plated their, even if it's not sold. But I guess people have done this because you can like wrap things in like gold. Even I want to do it at some point because we have a store that sells those like gold foils. The golden Lego minifig. So that one was real gold, solid gold, like a gold minifig. Huh. But yeah, basically we have the store that sells all the equipment to do gold plating, and I really wanted to try it out at some point, but never came around. It's like the gold stake. Put gold on everything. But yeah, when it comes to barbecue, we are not big barbecue fans, as reflected in our barbecue gas bottle and in our butane bottle that we have. That I guess we might empty this year, and we already started to ask around, and the bottle is so old. It's a standard bottle, but the brand is so old that nobody accepts it anymore to take it back, because you have to pay a deposit for those bottles, and if you bring it back and refill it or take another one, you basically can switch it. And it's not a small deposit. It's like 30-40 bucks, I don't know. So yeah, so now we have to see where we can return this empty gas bottle once it's empty. And I'm still waiting for my fireplace to show up, because the new garden will have a fireplace as well, like a small little. I mean, I guess you could use it for grilling as well, like for s'mores or like marshmallows or like sausage on a stick. But it's just, I guess it's just for decoration and for warmth in the winter. So yeah, I'm curious. It also says in the at the product page that it is for German gas bottles. And as far as I'm concerned, there is no difference between Austria gas bottles and German ones. Would be very surprised if you have your own standards. But if there is, we have to maybe switch out the hose and hopefully it doesn't explode, because we can use the hose from our old grill that nobody likes to buy, even for very cheap money. That's a real thing. We have like now the old grill that is very old in terms of age, but not in terms of usage, because we used it like 10 times, I guess, in the last 20 years. But nobody wants a grill like this anymore. It's like, because it's like grills are like cars. Everyone got a bigger and bigger grill in their garden, because it's like kind of a status symbol. So nobody wants to buy like a small grill from the 90s anymore. So such a shame. Some things really don't have any value left. Oh shit. I knew why I've hold off on those pieces, because they aren't fun to work on. Those small spikes, don't like them. Look at those. I can't even pick up this Q-tip because I've cut my nails and now I'm unable to grab things. So, so annoying. My mother was making icon with gold. The Orthodox. Oh, okay. Those are not old bottles. Those are vintage collector bottles. yeah. Sure. It's not that old. It's even the new one, the new form, because the really old ones, they don't have a protective shield around the valve. It's like in one of those like King of the Hill episodes where you are incentivized to grab it on the handle, not on the valve. And the new ones have like this really big protective shield around it, so you can't really damage the valve anymore. But it also makes the bottle a bit taller, and now it barely fits beneath the grill. So yeah. Yeah, I can't believe it because, you know, I mean, but then again, maybe. I mean, it always flashes me out that you have to counter twist the gas bottle because it's the other way around. But then the opener, like where you actually turn on the gas, it's just a normal thing. You know, you turn it clockwise to turn it off, and to turn it counterclockwise to turn it on. But the screw of the valve is just the other way around. So. And I also have to look up some recipes for grilling, because if we do this more often now, I don't want to eat like the same things every week. Because that's the thing with grilling. I mean, usually it's just meat, and then you have like some potatoes or maybe some bread, maybe a salad, but it's not so much you can basically grill, or at least not your typical grill experience. And then of course grilling is something that you might enjoy in a group. I won't grill for myself, of course. So, and then if you have friends over, they also expect like certain items. To be like if you say so, if you are invited to a barbecue, you have like pretty concrete like idea what there will be served, don't you? I mean, it would be like inviting someone to a barbecue, like say, hey, come over to my barbecue, and they would expect like normal things like you know, steak and like sausage and hot dogs and hamburgers, and then you say when they come, oh, it's a vegan barbecue thing where we only do zucchini, or like, you know, what's another paprika thing you can grill? I don't know, carrots, mochi. I really like mochi, on a grilled mochi. That was such a nice thing to have in Japan. They have like basically just mochi, like marshmallows, and they grilled it on open fire. Also like sweet potatoes, or what was it, potatoes, like, and like with butter. You just take a lump of butter, let it like heat up a bit, like in the sun or in normal room temperature, and then you mix it with miso paste, and it's such a great like sauce, or like such a great thing you can dip things into. So very easy, very tasteful. Yeah. My favorite salad from grill. Yeah, I really enjoy grilled skewers and corn on the cob. Yeah, corn on the cob. It's a staple of our grilling. And usually you already, if there is grilling season, so in the summer month, you can already buy them pre-cooked. So you just have to put it on the grill. Because if you normally also you can't buy those. If you want to buy a real like corn cob, those aren't really available in our stores. But if you can buy them, you have to pre-cook them. So it's much more effort than it might seem. If you serve a cob and then you eat it, it's like, oh, it's just corn. But you have to cook it, you have to season it, you have to grill it, you have to like turn it around. Yeah, I mean, I guess we also have like, or at least we had those like things where you could like make a big skewer with like that, with an electrical motor that spins. But that's such a you know such a hassle, like to do a real like whole chicken on the grill. Sometimes when you visit like special grilling or like barbecue parties, most often not privately hosted, but more from a company or from a organization, they have like a pork on a stick, like the piglet that spins. It's always a highlight. But usually because, I mean, it looks interesting, I would say. It's like ox on a grill. It's just meat, you know. It will be carved down and it will be served, and then you have just meat on a plate. But the act of grilling, it looks a bit more visual interesting. I have like Patafix on my fingers, and now it's all gooey. It's like, yeah. But a good salad, like things on the side, is also kind of important, I think. Also like sauces. Back then when we grilled, when I was a child, we also had like always like ketchup and like bottles of sauces on the table. But now when I host, I try to at least put them into small little like dish, plates, or like you know, boxes, ceramic plates, and mix them. And it's very easy to make your own like spiced ketchup. Just take regular ketchup and mix it with some pepper, with some paprika, with some curry powder and whatnot. And then it's also very easy to make your own chili, mayo. And so I try to at least like present them nice, because that's the thing. You eat also with your eyes. I now have to put this out of its misery. So last piece for the white things. So then I can start with the makeup. That's actually kind of a nice part of the workflow. I like the dry rubbing of the things. But yeah, and also my paint has dried up here, so I can have to use a new one. So I'm really curious how often we can grill this season. And if it's any like more comfortable to grill with the new kitchen outside. At least we try to buy a second pair of everything from the real kitchen, like second pair of plates, second pair of glasses, and like spoons and knives that are just always outside in boxes, so you don't have to run through the house constantly. And there might also be a chance that I can wear my apron that I got from a friend of mine. She went to Japan at the around New Year or like Christmas last year, and she visited a martial arts, not martial arts, what's it called? Wrestling fight. Japan, was it King of Fighters? I guess it was King of Fighters thing. And she bought a thing with the logo on it. It's a tiger's head, I think, or a lion's head. Pretty stylish. And she thought it was a tote bag, like one of those sturdy tote bags, and it was an apron. But it's one of those aprons that is just like a skirt. It doesn't go up to your chest. It's just your typical Japanese apron, but it looks very, very cool. So it also has quite some nice details on the stitching and on the like belt that you put on over your waist. Even if it's just like like basically a merchandise thing, a merch thing, it looks very nice. Very premium, very upscale, and of course also pretty unique to have it. Because exclusivity is the most important thing, as we all know. That's why I like to have bespoke things. King of Fighters Samurai Showdown, yeah. So there was like a fight. I don't know if it was a significant one, but they went there. It was held in a sports arena where they also do sumo, and so it was quite the event. And then of course I also have my, it's Kikoman, yeah, it's a Kikoman apron. I guess that one I got from a restaurant at some point. I also had an Asahi shirt, like for like the beer company, but it got lost over time because at some convention, like a really small local convention, we got sponsored by Asahi. So we got like shirts and stuff with their logo on it. It was like, and then we had our crew shirts were the Asahi shirts. That was kind of silly. And this was also in a time where it was like still frowned upon to drink or to even serve drinks at a convention. That's also another funny thing, that people are like actively praised the German community at Dokumi, that they were so chill and that there was drinking, but it was like cultivated drinking because nobody got like drunk or rowdy. So yeah, I can imagine that, like in Düsseldorf with the Japanese garden, that for some reason I never visited, only like at my very last Dokumi, or one of my last Dokumis, I went to the Japanese garden, and it was like, oh, there is like this huge outside area where people gather. Because it's not like, I guess it's nearby, but then again the exhibition center is so large in scale that if you are at point A and you have to go to point B, then it's a large walk. And the Japanese garden is like point C, so it's even farther away. But yeah, technically it's next by. So, but it's not like Dokumi where you just go outside the hotel and you are in the park area where everything is happening outside. So yeah, but I was like, ooh, there are all those people. There are all those like peasant people with no ticket. So they have them too, I see. So I guess I will just stop here and start with the weathering, because otherwise I will be here all night. And we want that. So let's see. I have them all like clipped onto my bound saw here, like beneath me, behind me. Let's see. So yeah, it's like the perfect place that I can put them. Let's start with the mask. Let's start with the like main focus, because I'm still like motivated to do stuff, and later on I might be like get sloppy, so I will start with the more important parts first. So okay, so basically let's close this, and then I will just use this one. We have like a silver, and we have like a gunmetal, and we have an orange rust. So perfect color combination. I will just use the gunmetal for areas where I want to shade it a bit more. And then I will use the silver, go over all the edges again, and bring them out even more. And the final touch might be that I take a bit of the rust color and I just brush over it. And I also will use the silver to like basically color all the edges, so that it looks a bit more like a metallic armor. So now we'll just go with the rust, and I will just brush over it a bit, so it gets a bit more yellow in tint. Maybe some gunmetal as well. And then we have the mask. Let's check it out. So that's a pretty significant change, because if we look at the face beneath, that is almost the same color. You know, like comes in front. So I'm very curious how this will all look with the armor mounted. Last time I was in Düsseldorf, we went to a Japanese garden. It was quite what I expected, and later I discovered that the place eventually I eventually wanted to visit was Eiko House with its Buddhist temple. Sadly, Google reviews had photos from both places mixed together. So yeah, the Japanese garden, at least it is labeled as Japanese garden. is the like pretty large area, pretty large park that is basically just crowded with cosplay people when Dokomi is held. And from what I've seen, it's just like it's a huge area, so it is not. It's not like a typical Japanese garden that you would be like from the picture books with like a moon bridge and like ton of well-maintained bonsai trees or whatnot. It has some like small water areas like lakes and like stone statues. I guess some of them are even like explained with like signs, but I guess it's nice for the size of it because it's quite a huge garden. But yeah. They are really lucky that they have it. Because it's a nice contrast to the convention center, because the convention center is of course your typical fair exhibition fair with like tons of halls and concrete plazas in between, so it's not the nicest one to look at. I mean, yeah, there are like tons of like individual vendors that try to bring their own like decorations and their own attractions, but usually anime conventions still don't have the budget or the possibilities of other like mainstream events to really decorate a place and to really theme a place. So it always looks like a bit of a small like amusement park or like a circus. Because if this was held like an automotive show or like a real big presentation state-wise, then it would be a bit more decorated and more themed. But in that case, they only have like especially outside. Outside is just, you know, food trucks and a few things, but it's not as nice to look at, and so people are gladly to spend their free time in the park. They might even do some barbecue. Guess I've seen those, like grilling on a convention with like those small portable throwaway grilling things. Interestingly enough, in Vienna we have like a huge artificial island that is like resting in the Danube. It's really large. It's like basically 30-kilometer wide. Basically the whole city. It splits the whole city, and they originally constructed it as a safety against the floods. And if you think back and if you look at the picture when it was erected, you can't really believe that this was a project that somebody like really did and really got through with it. But now we have this like party or like relaxing strip, and there are many places where there are fixed spots where you can grill, and they are like hosted and organized by the city itself, and you can basically rent them and you can barbecue there. They are really cheap for what is offered. They even like provide you with wood, but the downside is with everything that is very cheap, the schedule is booked out very quickly. Like you have to book your grilling schedule in like January or February once the site goes live. And also when it comes to grilling in the summer, then you have your schedule, you have your like slot, and you paid your money, and then when the summer comes, it's not allowed to grill because it is very dry, and when they say it's not allowed to grill, then they will close off those places, and then I guess you get your money back, but you have to like, you know, file a claim and stuff like that, and it's just, I guess, $10 or something like that. So yeah, so I did it once. Like, I never hosted it because it's troublesome to host it, but I attended such a grill party at one time, and yeah, it was fun. Okay, good night and see you on Friday. Yeah, thank you for sticking around. Have a good night, have a great night, and I will see you again on Friday, yeah, on full time, when I work on my base again. Base is coming together so nice, oh my god. We are now at the point where I say, okay, that's really starting to look like something. So I'm very excited, and I hope I can finish those pieces, and maybe next Monday I can start with the silhouette to paint this, and then hopefully I can finish this project as well in June, and to start with another kit at some point. And then let's see what we are do with that one. Start with a new kit is always, if you worked so long on one project, it feels alien. It feels alien to work on something other. So I'm just maybe I'll yeah, maybe it will. Maybe it will. I mean, I'm looking forward to this. It's such a nice thing. I guess this means we have to do the like constant like gift exchanges. Then you will be added to the Rolodex for Christmas presents. Now we have to replace like fallen slots, people that are no longer around. The good old family Christmas card. Oh, only half year for to until it's Christmas again. Can you believe it? But now it's like June is Father's Day, isn't it? It's interesting. I always I never assumed that Father's Day is an international thing. And I think it's just like a spite thing, because Mother's Day is older, isn't it? Isn't Mother's Day is quasi the OG celebration? But then somebody like said, oh, what about the fathers? And then we have like Father Day. And I know that it's not the same day internationally. Santa Claus, figure collecting Santa Claus. Then I'm glad that I still have a fake chimney. I mean, I have a real chimney, but it's sealed off, and then we installed a fake electric fireplace, because once again it's much more convenient to use it, and I will actually use it instead of a real fireplace that will just sit there and collect dust. It's like the same thing with outside. I wanted to have a real fireplace outside with like where you burn like wood. But this would be so troublesome to maintain and to operate that I will most likely never heat it on, and so I was advised against it, and yeah, I can see it. I still don't know if the effect is convincing or if this is like good looking, but then again, if it's like adequate, and people see this, they might think, oh, that's a nice effect. And if there is like a faster way to do it, they would assume that I use this way. And if they would see me like struggle with this for hours, they would say, he's such a noob. Why is he doing it like that? It can't be, because that's the thing that I've already like kind of learned, that when it comes to painting miniatures, that most people won't do a bad job when they start, but they will be extremely slow to do this. And once they get more intense, more like knowledgeable, they might get better, but also get much faster. And so yeah. What's with the music? Why is this carnival music now? Huh. Okay. That's not my jam. That's my jam. That's my Moe jam. mindlessbubblymusic.com. That reminds me that tomorrow I might be like alone in the office again. So I can listen to whatever I want. Don't have to listen to like stupid radio station the whole day, which is very annoying. I was really surprised when I received my first package from Diaborg. Inside was my very first Gundam, Dynams. Back then I didn't know where I was supposed to use nippers to cut the parts out, so I used scissors instead. Oh, I mean, I've heard so many like stories about like people using things instead of nippers. I mean, they were basically, I've heard from people that don't use any tools. They just, twist it off. And sometimes, I mean, sometimes when I work on them, they fall off immediately, so that you don't even have to cut them. And I think sometimes twisting is the cleaner solution to some of those parts. I was like joke. I mean, it was not even a joke. I have like my so-called first cut nipper that is kind of like scratched and like has broken bits from the blade, because I bought this and I used it for a model kit, and after that it was like in my junk drawer, and I was like, that's a nipper. I can use this for my tinkering, for my diorama building. And I cut like wood, I cut like paper, I cut like wire, like metal wire, and so of course it got like worse. And at some point I was like, I can clip my nails with this as well. And so yeah, it's like but now I have like I still don't have a god hand, because it's so expensive, because you can't get it really. If those things would be rather it would be more available. Also like the paints and the sprays and all this thing. This might be a good thing to like specialize in the store. I don't know, to be more like specialized in those things. But then again, you would have to find a way to get those items, to resell them for a good price. Because if it comes to like selling stuff, like to be a merchant, the most important thing is how to get to your items for a good price. Selling the items usually shouldn't be an issue, because if you are struggling to selling items, then you might fail as a business at the first place. Because if there is no demand, why would you have a support or a supply? But to be really successful and to make it viable, you have to find a way to import things or to get things from a merchant or like a company, manufacturer. And yeah, I guess if this is not viable, if you have like to basically buy it for very, very much money and then resell it for even more, people will just cut out the middleman. So yeah, And I guess that's the reason why it's not available, because it is a hobby that is gaining in popularity, but let's face it, not many people are building model kits. And even far less people are like willing to paint them or have them like build them any further than just basically putting them together. I mean, this was the allure of this whole plastic model thing, that you don't need tools to build them. You don't need glue, and you don't need sandpaper, and you don't need stuff like that. And it's the same with like garage kits in a world where like pre-painted figures are rather available from all the sources, from all the shows. Building like your own figures is, it's just a hobby, but if you just want to collect them, why would you do this? I mean, let's because Gundam is kind of unique in that regard, because as from my understanding, there aren't really like Gundam figures from the robots, and I don't know if this is like an embargo thing, that Bandai basically doesn't want to ruin this one business with another. But I mean, there are like even Galleons. There are like posable action figures from the mech suits, from the mechas. Not many, but they are available. And if like a Gundam, if the Gundam universe would have like the mech suits, the mobile suits, available as a figure, like size-wise approximately the same, posable perhaps, like Transformer toys. Let's go in that direction. I guess many people would settle with those instead of the building experience. So in that case, it's fairly unique that you have to build them, otherwise you wouldn't have the models. But garage kits, I mean, when it comes to scale figures, most of the time there are so many nice ones out there that you don't really have to settle for a garage kit. Is there? So like from Cleric, there are like Gundam that are already pre-built? Huh. Because I never see those around, to be honest. Oh, so action figures, okay. But it's also interesting that basically this whole putting things together approach was never utilized with like normal scale figures, because wouldn't it be nice to have like I mean the grand scale is now like comes close to it, but basically to build your own scale figure, kind of like a garage kit, but like on a industrial scale, so that you don't have to basically clean it that much, because that's the worst part of a garage kit, to clean all the parts and like have all those like spruce things removed, because it's also like a very hard and sturdy material, this resin. It can't be easily manipulated like ABS. and it's also kind of toxic. So, but yeah, then if you would have like to put it just put it together, and maybe have to paint it. I guess that would be make for a fun experience. I mean, it's also such a great move that they sell those plastic model kits basically color separated with the base color already attached, because otherwise they wouldn't sell quite as much. If you were to have to basically have them all gray or all white. That's a silly little piece won't stick to my clamp. This week I actually ordered and built a Lego set for a very long time. First one in a very long time. I guess last year I've built a big bouquet of flowers, like the botanical collection, but it was all sorts of like third-party Chinese Lego stuff. And not the good brands, like the really cheapest brands I could find on Temu and on AliExpress. Some of them really had like, there is this like piece that is like a palm tree piece, a green one, and usually it has like holes inside that you can stick axles through. And there was the mold for the hole, for the indent, but it was filled with plastic, so I had to really drill open those holes. I never had such a thing, even with like the knockoff kits. But yeah, and I also had like I've built lots, which is basically just Lego pieces, but a smaller scale. So it was like really tiny, and I was like struggling to put this together. But yeah, this week I've built the Japanese bonsai tree, the new one, the maple tree. And I was like, I've got it, and I was like, let it in the box, and then I was I woke up earlier, and I didn't want to go back to sleep because I was afraid that I will oversleep. And I was just building the Lego set in like half an hour. It was just, oh yeah. And that's the reason why I don't build Lego, because you burn through it so quickly. And then it's a finished set, and then you just start a new one, and it will collect very quickly. And all those bigger sets now, they use up quite some space as well, so yeah. I mean, I guess starting next year I also will cut back on figure pre-ordering, because until then I will have such a huge backlog on figures that it doesn't make much sense to order like random figures just to have them in my collection. But then the showcase will also be a bit fuller than it is now, so it doesn't look as empty and as sad as it looks now. So I will just like cut back on figure ordering. Yeah. Because I really want to have them displayed and not to store them into boxes for like half a year. It also isn't like the best thing to store the figure in boxes, I've heard. It's just a transport thing, but usually it's better to let them outside and like let the plastic breathe. Of course, it might get discolored by natural light, by sunlight, by but even also by room light. But such is life. Inside the box, the chemical, what is it called? Fumes might also be like stuck in there, and it might damage the paint job and the like plastic, the surface. So yeah, it's better to unbox them. It's not a wine. It doesn't get better if it's sealed inside the box. Also, if you store them in a box and you might keep them like in an attic or something where it gets warm, heat traps inside the box, and it's also not good for the figure. So usually it's better to display them and enjoy them, because that's what they are made for. They aren't made for like store them in a vault and hope that they get more valuable, because usually they won't. Well. I'm so curious how this will look, the whole thing together, because I can't imagine it. It's like I've never seen like a metallic figure, because metallic paint job still is quite rare when it comes to figures. I would say. Okay. I mean, it looks like real metal. There's a bit of a blue shade in there. It's not as pronounced as it was, but everything's there. I mean, it's nice. I mean, if you look at it from far away, it's just shiny. It's just okay. And if I look at them all together, they're also somewhat consistent, because that's the thing. I mean, if you're working on at least if I'm working on such a thing, if I can't do this in one sitting, it's always like the danger that from sitting to sitting, it's a slight deviation in the color, because you know sometimes you have a better mood than other times, and then the parts look a bit different. So, but until now they look fairly consistent. So let's go with the mask next. I hope that I will not overslap today, so that I can drive with the bike to work tomorrow, because it might be the only day this week where I can do this. Also because of weather, and also because of there is another holiday coming up. It's the last one. It's the last one until August, but in August it's on a weekend, so it doesn't count. So it's the last one till, I guess, November. October. There's one in October. Our Independence Day, so to speak. So yeah. I'm dealing with that today. In the Ami package we ordered, I bought a pre-owned Mirai culture and oh, the Mirai Nando with the small. Is this one with the small car? Isn't it? Wasn't there a car attached? A little cabriolet. Brand new, never opened, and still sticky. Yeah, that's the thing. That's also the thing why I never bothered with old figures as much, because I know that they won't stand the test of time. I don't even know if like modern figures, like the one that I received today, how she will look in like 15-20 years. I assume they made like advances in material composition, but I've also seen like pictures from 3D prints like PLA after 10 years, and you basically can just put it in your hand and crunch it together like it's like bread, or like, you know, like yeah. She's taking a bath right now, let it dry tomorrow, and after she's going into the freezer. Yeah, Oki is the person who also does like quite a few things to his figures when they are getting sticky, like use some yeah, like bath soap, freeze them. There is like this one spray you can use like for like carb breaks, I guess, but usually it's short-lived. If this process is like initiated once, yeah, you can't really stop it. It's like oxidation. It's not stoppable. You can slow it down, or you can just, you know, wash it off. But yeah, I mean, if it's not like really severe, you won't notice it if it's displayed. But then the only major downside of this is, of course, that when the surface gets sticky, there will be dust that accumulates on it, and you can't really get rid of the dust anymore. So the surface becomes more like coarse and like filthy over time. So yeah, I had the worst figure that I ever had in terms of this was Mahoromatic. It's a very old school anime of a maid character that is basically just a robot and was once like an assassin military killing machine, and then can spend the last days of Earth like as a housemaid. And there's a figure where she's in her typical maid dress. It's plastic figure. It was like kind of small, like 110, maybe 1.8. And she was sitting on a die-cast motorcycle. The motorcycle looked really nice, even back in the days. It was metal, and of course the bike over basically outlived the figure. But the figure got so bad that small bubbles formed on the surface. So basically the figure began to sweat. Really weird to see, and yeah. Basically, I just had the figure thrown away and just kept the motorcycle for an extended period of time, and some when I sold also the motorcycle. Because that one really looked nice. And that's the reason also why I like to take pictures of my figures. Because I still have a picture of that figure in a somewhat amateur setting, but still I have it. And this one might live longer than basically it lived longer than the figure, but my figure photos might outlive my figures, because even if I don't, and that's you can cope with the habit that when you publish it online on so many platforms. You don't do it for attention, you do it for preservation, you know? Because if you post it on one platform, people might say, okay, but what is when the platform gets shut down? But when you post it to enough platforms like Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, My Figure Collection, other like Flickr, or like some other like deviant art or whatnot, there might be a high chance that those pictures will be around for a very, very long time. They might not be like seen by many people because they will get buried over time, but at least they will be around. So yeah, so you can really treasure those memories of those figures and capture them in their prime, so to say. I guess at some point I also have like to buy a classic Mirai smart doll. Of course, the current version of her that is not remotely similar to the first edition one. I really gotta say, like, smart dolls, because my ivory is from the first run of smart dolls, from the initial batch of dolls he put out shortly after Mirai. The style never was as cute as it was back then. Like in terms of, if you like the classic anime style, even if there are still anime dolls available, the dolls head sculpture back then was really cute, and some would say kind of basic, but then again, I guess that's the point. And nowadays they look a bit more like, you know, they all have individual like features, but it's a bit more like, you know, it's not the anime style of the old. It's a bit more like modern interpretation of anime style, I guess. But then again, I never bought a Mirai doll because this is the only one that will always be available, at least according to Danny. So it's always like, I can buy this doll that will be around forever, or I can buy this shiny new limited only short FOMO available thing. And so I usually went for those. Yeah. And nowadays even like more classic stuff comes back, like the milk skin tone. So there isn't really there's also not much reason to buy an older smart doll, because they will also tend to get worse over time, and at least the figure is mostly kept indoors and in a showcase, most of the time even sealed away from any like dust or like fresh air. But dolls usually they are like be carrying around, and people tend to use them outside. So yeah. Buying used doll is also something I never considered, really. And then of course those are the real rare ones that you have to buy used. Of course they are hella expensive, because they are collectible first and doll second. Luckily, I also don't like those those like branded dolls, like when they like basically cosplay as a character. So luckily, I can pass them quite easily. Don't have to spend that amount of money. I guess the only like really branded doll I was considering was from Final Fantasy XIV, when they had when Square get together with Folks and had the was it Kanisena doll released. That one looked really nice. But then again, I was like, I'm not such a huge fan of Final Fantasy 14 that I will be justified to buy this doll. And also because I was like considering that, yeah, I can buy this in terms of money, but then if I'm not really a fan, I might have some other person has the chance to buy her that is more of a fan, that she means more of them, because I'm usually against like scalping and like buying things just to have them and to store them away and to hope that it will increase in value, because I find it's a pretty silly thing to do, even because I know that there are way better and faster ways to make money than to go for collectibles. So it's kind of silly to do this, to be honest. That's true. I also like sharing my hobby photos because it's so nice, and it's a nice way to meet new people who are into the same thing. Sadly, older Nandos often have issues with sweating, but give them a bath with soap and water from time to time. It really helps. Some of them don't even show any signs at all. I'm really hoping, yeah, hopeful. I hope that you can save her, make her look better, restore her, like the toy collector from Toy Story. Basically, or you could also like pretend it never happened and seal her away and display her in the box, and it's just like Schrödinger's figure. If you don't know if it's broken or sticky. It's like the one guy that bought my Dreamcast, my Japanese import Dreamcast from Sakura Tyson. He was like, I asked him if he turned it on, if you see if it's run, and he was like, no, I will just like keep it and pretend it's functional, so I will never know. So it's like Schrödinger's console. I haven't really seen that happen with newer Androids, so I think they might use. Yeah, that was what I'm hoping, that they made a bit of a progress in that regard. I mean, because let's face it, wouldn't be a good thing as a manufacturer if your product gets unusable in a short period of time. People might consider, okay, if I buy this, how long will I have it? And so they might not be willing to spend any money on it. So yeah, scalpers basically markets on it when it becomes a niche thing. But when all know that the only thing that will have increased value over time, it's gold, not some plastic satellites. If they're old enough but in mint condition, then you can sell it as vintage. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with like basically every collectible, that basically when it comes to like Lego is a good example, because there were times where you could really make some easy bucks by just collecting and reselling Lego. But nowadays, if everybody like basically stores their sets and never like there is no like destruction of those sets, so to say. So if 100 people buy a set, normally they would just buy them for kids, and like from those 100 sets over time, let's say like in 20 years, only like 20 will be available, like in a good condition, or like let's say like 10 will be available in a good condition, like with box and maybe even sealed. So those 10 sets might be valuable, even more than it was like back then when it was sold. But now, if these 100 people buy those sets and they knew, hey, this might become very valuable in the future, and they will just sit on it and never play with it, never open it, just keep it in perfect condition, in 20 years you will have those 100 sets, and if this amount of sets overwhelms the people who really want a vintage old toy thing set, whatever, yeah, then there is no much, no value is gained. I mean, I guess this is the same thing why those like old video game boxes are like big boxes from video games, or even like and for 64 or like Super Nintendo or Nintendo games are so valuable because they have those cardboard boxes, and usually those cardboard boxes got like lost or damaged over time. The newer ones where they have the plastic cases doesn't really happen anymore. So or like with the Pokemon cards, I mean, the old Pokemon cards, I mean, people used to like play with them, and like maybe they got lost or destroyed over time, and so not many of them are still available in perfect condition. So yeah. I would love to own a smart doll someday, but probably not until we buy a house. Right now our apartment really would have enough space for. Is it such a tiny apartment? They aren't that big, unless you buy one of those 1:2 scales. Those are kind of large. They had one at Dokumi, like back in the days, and it was just a display piece. But of course, someone bought it, and then he sold it because I guess he was like quite happy that he didn't have to bring her back to Japan. And it's basically a 1:2 smart doll, like a half-scale smart doll, is basically as tall as a small child. It's also kind of creepy because it goes into this uncanny valley situation, but it also kind of nice because it looks like a really big action figure, but with such finesse and such details. Even the eyes are really big, and the wig, and yeah, I don't know, but it's a plus size. I never heard any updates on the pocket-sized smart dolls though, because I would to have like there was the plan to bring out like smaller sized ones that are basically like Obitsu dolls or like mini Doll Fight Dream dolls, but I've never heard any updates on those. So honestly, I feel like there are scalpels for pretty much everything these days. Yeah. But again, those are like the real organized one. It's almost like organized crime at this point. I mean, because if you do this like on a private scale, it's just, you know, what does it even matter? I mean, I have this colleague at work. He recently bought like a set of Magic cards that, and he also plays it, so he's not just a pure scalper. He also plays it, and I guess it's easier if you like if you are self in the hobby to justify those behavior. And now he's sitting on this set, and he might know that it will become more valuable over time. And now he's like, should I resell it for like $40 profit, or should I keep it? And he's like torn. And I'm like, I was telling him, okay, now you have like $40 in profit. Does this really change your life? What does this mean? If you can scale this operation to make it like 100 times sell this set each day, it doesn't really matter. So basically just keep it, and if it becomes really expensive in the future, then good for you, but why just sell it for a measly profit? Doesn't really make sense. But then I've heard there's like now they try to mitigate scalping of those Pokemon cards, where they basically destroy the package, just cut into it, so it's not top mint anymore, and they try to bring down the value of those cards. And that's a interesting thing, because basically they just destroy the packaging, like the wrapper that is not meant to be anything but just protect the cards until you unbox them or you just play with them. But if this really destroys the value of the item, it basically just means that whoever is buying those cards from a scalper also has the intent to never use this item. They will just take it and pay the premium and hope that at some point someone will pay even more for it. And like I said, if you're into those games, just basically go to the fucking stock market. Oh my god, is it so hard? Don't care about those like toys that you can collect. It's such a hassle, to be honest. It's a different thing when you are like scalping like consumer electronics like PS5. Then it's like a really bad thing, because most people that bought a PS5 back then from scalpers, they did not intend to resell it for even more money. They just wanted PS5 to play with. So yeah, that's really annoying then. But if you are like scalping like basically meaningless stuff like Pokemon cards or Lego sets, I mean, come on. It gets crammed on this thing. So there are like I have to apologize, but I have to make those 4 items still, even if it's well past midnight now. At least where I'm from, it's past midnight. Maybe you just sit here and drink your morning coffee, watch the funny Austrian guy struggle to put on a metallic paint job on his plastic toy. First he painted it gray, then he painted it metallic blue, and now he is smearing metallic gray over it again so that you won't see the other 2 layers. So you have to pretend that it's there. You will feel the difference in weight. So how does it look, the other one? Is it like remotely close? Where do I even have it here? They all kind of look the same now. Let's see. This that one has more black underlines. So maybe I have to. So let's see. Put in some black ink. I always wondered what like panel line ink really is. Is it like just real ink? Could I write my Christmas cards with it? Like, should I try to like pull it into a pen, like a fountain pen, and like at least it would like smell funny, so I would get high writing my handwritten correspondence. These are also problems with TCG when people just buy to resell rare cards while throwing decks or booster cards into the bin. Yeah. Oh my god. That's so. It's a little bit like embarrassing, but you won't believe how many like perfectly mint Pokemon cards I found in the dumpster. Like basically really, or at some point I found a whole display of One Piece trading cards. I didn't even know that there were like One Piece trading cards, but apparently they are in the dumpster, like perfectly sealed, of course. But every package was opened, and basically the one valuable card, if there even is one valuable card in each like pack, it was like pulled out, and the rest into the dumpster. Yeah. So I knew that I don't play the game, and if I try to resell this, it's basically worthless because everything of value is already stripped out of it. So yeah, but it's oh man, makes you think about it. I'm so happy that I'm off TCG. The last one that I played was what is it called? The fairy tale one. Oh my god! It was like Magic in terms of like dynamic, but it was like fairy tale characters. Wind, was it Wind? Force of Will, that was it. Force of Will. Force of Will was the last TCG that I played / collected the cards of. And never looked back. I've played Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in the days. I know how Magic works, at least. Played a bit of Schwarz-Weiß. Is it Schwarz-Weiß or Weiß-Schwarz? I don't know. Like the deck building thing. But yeah, I never understood that. Honestly, it felt so wasteful. For it is. But then again, if you are like play a TCG, you also know the feeling that if you buy like if your main source of new cards is buying booster packs or even displays, then you will end up with tons and tons of common cards. And basically, there are like only like 3 options: store them yourself, throw them away, or give them to a shop. That sounds like the nicest solution, but then again, the shop also has like boxes and bins of those common cards. So I mean, there are common cards, there are so many available, and they can't be played all. So yeah. So I guess the ideal TCG would be like a card game where there aren't as many like common or at least useless cards. But then again, this would be against the capitalist nature of those games. And you wouldn't buy. Then you can basically just buy a set of cards, like a trump card. Was it trump cards or poker cards? And play those just as a basic, or buy a deck of Uno and play Uno. Tamiya one has a brush tip. Bandai Marco has 2, where I would leak out a puddle when it makes contact with the surface. The other has a normal fin marker tip you would use to write. Oh, yeah. So I can write with it. This is not written in blood, it's written in panel line ink for serious conversations. Luckily, I don't have any handwriting, so yeah, I'm not. It's such a waste. I can't even write in cursive anymore. So I know that I've learned it in school, but now when I sit down each year and write the Christmas cards, I'm like, how do I cursive like any letter, basically, just the cursive R, like, how is it everything is connecting together? Because at some point we stopped writing with hand and we stopped writing in cursive, and then I just forgot. And nowadays it's like painful for me to write with hand. I'm also so embarrassed. I'm also always embarrassed that if I write by hand, that I will make an error, like a grammatical error. And so I basically just try to write as unreadable as possible, like a doctor, like just making a wiggly line. And sometimes it gets so worse that I can't even write my own, read my own handwriting. And then it's like, okay, what's the point of it? I will just write it down on PC. But also never was a big fan of like text to speech, or is it speech to text? Find it a bit creepy. I can barely read my own writings, yeah. Especially when it's getting a bit like once I write it, I can read it because I can remember what I've write down. But when it's like 2 or 3 weeks old, I'm like, what's this? What does it mean? So I really have to, oh, it didn't drop to the floor, just, I really have to be mindful when I wrote things like Christmas cards. Jesus, stick on there. I even have to like, I even like do drafts on the PC, like what I want to write, and just so that I don't make any errors. The only thing that was more like anxiety driven was to write on a typewriter without the correction, without a correction fluid in it. It's the last part. It's getting late. Does not want to be involved anymore, I guess. So yeah, writing on a typewriter was kind of stressful, and I had to do it quite often back at work with those like documents where you can push through different pages with one typewriter. So yeah, and even if you had a correction band installed, you could only erase the first page, but not the pages that followed. So it just had a black dot. So typing on a typewriter was always like a min-maxing. You could either go very, very slow, then you wouldn't make an error, but you would be very, very slow. Or you could try to go fast, but then you might mistype something. So, okay, now everything is brushy, clean, squeaky clean. Let's show those parts. And then I will just look for someone to rate, I guess, because I now dropped one part. That's a shame. Where's the presentation? It's all about presentation. So those are the parts. Shiny, shiny, shiny. Ayo. I mean, at least this is like something that the camera picks up quite nice, I think. They look, I would say they look even better than in person on the camera. Usually it's the other way around, but this is quite nice. Can't even tell where the crocodile clamp starts and where the part begins or ends. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to put this back on the Lancer. Now I said it correct. It's not an Archer, it's a Lancer. So let's see if someone is online that we know, and then we can call it a day. It was a pleasure as always to stream tonight, and I hope you will be back again on Friday when it's full time, and I will just work on the bass again. And we are nearing the end of this project, I would say, because I really want to do the photo in June. So yeah. So let's see if someone is online. Let's see. Hmm. Gundam and Chill. High grade Ultron Gundam. The He-Man woman haters you. Okay. Baron Bananas. Interesting. So, is there someone? No. Okay. Let's visit Baron. Started streaming recently. It's a Canadian. Okay, cool. Shout out to Canada. And I will see you again on Friday or maybe on Monday for PLAMonday. So take care out there and have a nice week. Bye.